There are nearly 2,000 international students attending schools in our region. What's their experience like here in the U.S.? We'll be talking with and about them next on Lakeshore Focus. Stay with us.
Programming is supported by NIPSCO. Today's young minds are constantly reimagining what our world will be like tomorrow. That's why NIPSCO is upgrading its infrastructure now, so we're ready for whatever comes next. More information at nipsco.com/future.
Welcome again to Lakeshore Focus, a weekly show highlighting the key issues, important events, and interesting people in our region. I'm Keith Kirkpatrick. Last week we talked about how our regional colleges and universities in Northwest Indiana have seen a growing number of international students coming to America and enrolling here. We have nearly 2,000 in our region, and that does not include all of those in Chicago. What is it like for them at our schools, in our communities, in our country? With us today are two more of these students who are studying at different regional campuses, and a faculty member who has lived in many parts of the world and works with these students. We're going to meet our two students first, and then our professor. First, we have Felix Rojas from Cuba, and Romulo de Carvalho Silva from Brazil. Did I get your name right?
Close enough.
It was close enough.
Yes.
So say it the way I should have said it.
My full name is Romulo de Carvalho Silva.
Okay. From Brazil,
Yes,
right?
I'm from Brazil.
Okay. And you go to which school?
I go to Purdue University, Northwest.
Okay. Felix, you were born in Cuba, right? Okay. And you go to which school?
Cal College.
Cal College.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have been here, you were born in Cuba.
I was born in Cuba, and we left or traveled to Miami when I was 8.
Okay.
And lived in Miami. I was raised there. And for the last 4 years, I've been going to school here in Cal College.
So was the culture you lived in Miami still very Cuban?
It's very Hispanic, yes. We are the majority. It's a different pace here where I'm the minority. So it's actually pretty interesting.
Was your neighborhood in Miami primarily Cuban or just a mix of Hispanics?
Just mixed.
Okay. And how long have you been here now?
I've been here for almost 2 years.
2 years, okay.
Yes.
So was this your first trip to the United States when you came to school?
Yeah, when I first came here was my first trip, yeah.
Okay. And I take it you've been home a couple times?
Just once, yeah.
Just once? Mm-hmm. So you miss home?
Yeah, I do, but I like it here too, yeah.
Okay. So you get to go back to Miami every once in a while?
Yeah, I'm leaving on December 19th.
Oh, particularly since the weather is like, bad and that kind of thing?
Yeah, when I start wearing a sweater,
You're ready to be back in Miami?
Yeah.
I don't know. The weather is pretty nice down in Brazil too, right?
Yes, where I live, it's in the northeast of Brazil. It's like hot all the time, so it's summer all year long.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what does Brazil have besides parties and the Olympics and poverty? I think that's the three things that we see mostly about Brazil in this country.
Well, I believe what I like most about Brazil is actually the people there, the Brazilians. I feel like the personality of Brazilians is very different and welcoming, and I love it. And also, we have good food. I like the food in Brazil.
Okay,
and beaches and, yeah.
I'll come back to asking you about our food here and so forth, but now, you haven't been back to Cuba then, right?
We went in 2005 and in 2008.
Was it hard to get in and out?
No, I have a Cuban passport, so it's actually pretty simple.
So it's easy for you?
It's easy for us. What's hard is the money. They charge us a lot because we don't live in Cuba anymore, so we get kind of punished for not living there
just to
anymore.
come back?
Yeah.
You get kind of penalized for doing that?
Right.
They don't. When you go to the restaurant, they don't charge you extra, right?
No.
It's just getting in.
The restaurants are tough. The national restaurants are not very good. They have these like privatized, like in someone's home. That's where the actual good food is, which is kind of weird.
So there's some strange things going on there. So how have you found, particularly, you said the people back in Brazil are very friendly, and the food is great.
Yeah.
So what's your experience here in the U.S.
Well,
with the people and the food?
Okay. As far as people, I actually broke a lot of stereotypes ever since I came here because I actually find people here welcoming. But when I first came, the transition was a little different because the way people greet in Brazil is a little different. They hug a lot, and sometimes they kiss on the cheek, you know. So those are things that are not the same here.
We have some huggers here.
Yeah, but it's
You
not.
just have to find them, though, right?
Yeah, but it's not the same. It's not the culture of the country. As far as food, in Brazil, we eat rice and beans pretty much every day, and here it's like a lot of fast food, a lot of McDonald's all over. So that was quite different to me.
So Felix is rubbing his stomach here. So what does this mean?
Yeah.
You like the McDonald's? You don't like all this stuff?
I think I agree with him. We eat a lot of rice and beans too. But for Thanksgiving and stuff, I've had for the last 2-3 years we've had it here, one in Knox, and then we stayed in Arlington Heights this year, and we've had it's been a great time.
Did you find the culture real different here than from even the culture you lived in Miami? Because you lived probably among a lot of international people, right?
Yeah, this is more conservative, more laid back. Actually, I find it here more family oriented than back home. Back home is more, metropolitan. So
you like it here?
Yeah.
And the winters are really great?
No.
You guys neither one. So what was it like the first time you saw snow?
Oh, it was great. The first time I saw snow was on Halloween 2 years ago. And that was great. I mean, I was looking forward to that. So the first week is good. After that, it starts fading away. And it's just too cold after that.
So how about you? First
yeah,
snow?
my brother and I, we go to the school, and we stood outside for like 20-30 minutes, not even realizing that we were freezing, just admiring the snow
Just
coming down.
letting it come down on
It was
you.
just amazing.
So how have you found, is the education system real different here, going to universities versus what you have back home? Is it real different?
Yes, to me it is. And that's one of the reasons I transferred here, because here is shorter. In Brazil, my major is civil engineering, and I take 5 years to graduate. Here I take only 4. And if I go for a master's here, I take only about 2 years to get my master's degree. In Brazil, I would take also 4 years. So because I want to work here afterwards, so I figured I would get my degree here as well.
So if you go longer, does that mean the curriculum down there is tougher?
It's a different system. It's hard to compare. Let's say for structural engineering, in Brazil, if you have just a bachelor's degree, that might be enough. But here, you still have to go for your master's degree to get a job as a structural engineer. So it's a different educational system.
So if you had an education there in the same field versus here, where do you think you're getting the better education?
I
Is it
would
the
say
same or
here, depending on the school, just because the schools here have way more resources. And by resources, I mean labs. Faculty here is not only from here. The U.S. has this great weapon, which is the work visa, and they get faculties from all over the world, So they have great faculty and great resources. So I would say the education here, even if it's shorter, it's still ahead a little bit.
Now you were really educated in the American system, right?
From 4th grade on.
Okay. So down in the schools, do they still? Is there a lot of Spanish spoken in the school that you went
the
to?
teachers, a lot of them are Hispanics. So,
Okay.
but I actually, I like the schools here because the classes are smaller. Back home in Miami, the universities some of the universities are bigger, and they have like 80 students, 100 students. Here, I get to talk to the professor, and we know each other on a personal level. So I think that's one of the reasons we've stayed.
What do you study?
I'm an English literature with a minor in history.
So a guy with a Cuban background is studying English literature.
I thought it was funny.
How does that work? It's humorous.
Yeah, I like to write, so I enjoy it.
So do you write in English or Spanish or both?
I write in English.
Okay.
There's some things that I'm starting to forget, certain jokes and things like that. So,
Have you been able to find people who are more like you in this area around the schools, or or do you feel? Have you found those folks?
Mm-hmm. I work at the International Affairs Office, at Purdue, so I'm in contact with people from all over the world, and also at church. I actually live with a family from my church, so I feel that, I mean, those people are similar to me or have adapted to the way I do stuff.
So are there some other Brazilians?
Yes, Brazilians, there were in the past some exchange students when I first came. Now we have only about 6 or 7 Brazilians, but we still get together and make our own food, and yeah.
So how about you? Have you been able to kind of blend into some culture like yours, or does it matter?
It does matter, but I think for my brother and I, we're fortunate that our school has a lot of diversity. You know, we have Brazilians, we have Colombians, Venezuelans. You know, we have kids. We have a kid from Nepal, New Zealand, Australia. So I think we're just lucky that we found a school that has all these different cultures.
So it's fun to be around these different cultures, and you blend in, and we like having you. I love having international students here. So, and thanks for being on the show and sharing with us your thoughts about your experience here. And good luck with school, both of you.
Thanks.
All right. We'll be back after these messages and meet our world-renowned faculty member. Stay with us.
We are the curious.
Wow. The adventurous.
Those venturing out for the first time.
And those who've never lost our sense of wonder.
You seen this?
We are the hungry.
The strong. I must be the greatest.
The joyful.
A happy little cloud.
We believe there is always more we can uncover.
More we can explore.
We believe in the capacity for goodness.
And the potential for greatness.
The torch has been passed to a new generation of Americans.
PBS. PBS.
PBS.
Be more.
Welcome back to Lakeshore Focus. We are continuing our conversation about international students who attend our regional universities. Our second guest has lived in multiple locations in the world and now teaches at Calumet College. Let's meet Steve Varela. So did you like my world-renowned?
No, it's very, very favorable of you. Thank you.
What is it to be how would we define somebody who's world-renowned as a faculty member?
Somebody who knows you, or people who know you from different parts of the world.
So it does fit for you.
A little bit, yeah, a little bit.
So tell us a little bit about, you've lived in some other parts of the world, you've taught in some other places, so just kind of quick, where have you been? And
Well, when I started teaching, I started in Taiwan, central Taiwan, Taichung, Taiwan. And I taught in the international trade department there for 4 years. And then I moved on to mainland China, and I got a different perspective. I got to see the Confucian values delivered in a democratic environment, as well as those same values being delivered in a communist environment. So I taught in mainland China for 2 years. And then I moved on to Africa. I worked in Lagos, Nigeria for 1 semester. It was originally going to be a whole year, but I found out that I couldn't bring my family, so I only wound up working there 1 semester. That was with Northeastern University.
so how'd you end up, I know your wife is from
Brazil.
So how did you connect to her?
Prior to being an academic, I worked in the commercial space. So I worked for companies like Motorola and AT&T. And Motorola had asked me to go down there and start a satellite telephone company. And so I was based in Rio. I lived there for about 8 years. And so I met my wife during that time.
And you got your PhD from Paris.
Right. After 3 degrees.
You are quite the world-renowned guy. See, I got the right description.
Yeah. After 3 degrees in the United States and the U.S. system, I decided I needed to get a degree that was worth something in terms of performing in an alternative environment, right? And so I went to the European system and found a French university that specialized in international management.
So you got a great background in really working all over the world, working in business, and that's what you teach now, right?
Yeah.
So what are you teaching?
So right now I teach international management and international business courses at Calumet College, and I also teach general management. And in addition, I have the administrative duties of handling the whole undergraduate program.
Okay. And you guys have recently started some sort of cooperative program with Spain.
Right. We're actually launching, we're going to do our second delivery of a global management certificate. It's a 7.5 credit hour certificate we're offering in Madrid, Spain, where we bring American students and other students from around the world to Spain to meet up with Spanish students who are finishing an MBA. And so we put them together and give them exercises and assignments and readings and simulations so they can do that together in a cross-cultural environment and perform with faculty who are also drawn from around the world. So we have faculty from Asia there, faculty from Europe, faculty from the United States.
So you really get it when you're talking to international students who come here, whether it's from Spain in this program or the ones you're working with, you get it, what it's like to be in another culture. How do you think their experience is? I mean, is it a good experience for them mostly?
Yeah, it teaches them that there's different ways to get something accomplished. And so they've got to learn to be flexible, learn to be persistent, learn to understand there's other ways to accomplish their goals. And perhaps most importantly, they have to have some dedication to what they're trying to do and appreciate the foreign environment they're working in.
Well, what do you think is the most difficult part or adjustment for a student who comes from another country here, and particularly coming here for the first time?
Generally, students and professionals actually engaged in overseas assignments have this honeymoon period in the first 90 days. And so everything's new and exciting, and they're going to different places, experiencing newness. So that's really good. But after those first 90 days, they become a little bit homesick. They miss some of the things they rely on, especially during stressful times like foods, rituals, maybe a church or something like that. And so that's when sometimes people get depressed, and that's kind of a make or break period for most people. If they can make it past that 90-day to 180-day phase, that's kind of sometimes doubtful, they usually do well after that.
So it's real important for the university to know that cycle and try to really work with them.
Right.
Do we see some of them just leave and go back home?
After the first semester, that's a common time for students, both domestic and foreign students, to actually leave, yeah.
So maybe that's why we send students from our country over to other, and they're only there for a semester, so they know they're coming back.
Yeah, they know they're coming back. Rarely are our programs offered for a year. It's much less common. And now we're moving into 2- and 3-week programs where students get that study abroad experience.
You know, one of the things I haven't asked any of the students during some of the interviewing was kind of about the political climate in this country. And someone from Purdue University told me recently that some of the students are feeling a little, that some things have been said to them in the community, some negative kind of things. And again, they watch our political system, and I think they saw a lot of derogatory comments being made about people from other countries being here. Do you see them, or do they talk about those feelings, or do you hear them talk about this?
Yeah, that's somewhat unfortunate in the political space we have here. Some of the students did express some fear that they may not be welcome here. I'm not sure about physical harm, but they were definitely not favorable because they're coming from other cultures and they want to be able to have good relations with the United States. They chose the United States to get their education, so they show some value in what we have to offer in our politics, our culture, and so forth. And so once they feel that bond could be weakened or broken in some way based on the political rhetoric, they get a little bit fearful.
What do you say to them, or how do you assure them, or how do you respond to that?
Well, I tell them we vote in new people every 4 years. And so if some things change.
But they still got 4 years to deal with this.
Change for the worse, it'll get better. And in the international scheme of things, 4 years isn't a long time.
What do we have to gain in this country by having so many international students come here? Because we have, I think I saw a number like 1 million students or something in this country.
Yeah, I think there's close to 1 million. In 2008, when we had difficulties giving visas, the numbers went down to about 600,000 or 700,000. But we're back up to the pre-2008 period. And the benefit we get is we get to have those diverse perspectives in our classrooms here in the United States, where the students don't have to go overseas to get some of that experience, right? Of course, that's not going to be the whole breadth of understanding another culture just by working with someone from that other culture. And so that's really why study abroad and going overseas is the best way to accomplish that.
I think one of the fears people say is, we have all these students come over here, well, they come over here, they get educated, and they want to stay and take the jobs, the really good jobs that American students might get. How do you answer that?
Well, we have to perform in a competitive environment, right? And we have to produce the best products and services we can, right? And so we should really have the best person for the position. And so we have some students in different parts of the world are more adept at doing certain things too. For example, the Japanese are really good at efficient processes and continuous process improvement. Other cultures, people like to follow the guidelines or the established procedures to do things, like, say, the Chinese. The Americans, though, they're really known for innovation and creativity and thinking outside the box, not necessarily following those prescripts or rules that other cultures kind of favor. And so our students excel in those areas.
I do hear from a lot of international students, though, that they say, hey, I'd like to work here for a while and then take what I've learned in school and what I've learned in the work environment back to my country to help it. Do you hear that often? Or?
Yes, we do. In fact, Brazil has a program right now, a STEM. They're sending 100,000 students to overseas universities to get good training, right, and get prepared so they can come back to Brazil or go back to Brazil and solve the problems that Brazil faces in terms of science, technology, and engineering.
How has working with international students and in different environments helped you be a better teacher, a better person?
I can see their natural preferences. I can understand that some of the Asian students don't really have a propensity to stand up and speak their mind in a classroom. They rather collaborate with their colleagues and then together come up with a response for the faculty. You could spend several minutes in a Chinese classroom waiting for an answer for someone to raise their hand. And so when I have those Asian students come to our courses here in the United States, I can understand and I can pause a little bit more and let them have a chance to really think about what they have to say and reflect on that. And then they produce their answer in class.
Have you, in all your experience living other places, ever had that cultural blunder where you're just like, oh my gosh, I just can't believe I did that? Or it kind of like was embarrassing? This is like your most embarrassing moment?
Yeah,
culturally?
you know, I haven't thought about it. I'm sure there's probably many of those. The more you get engaged in international assignments, the more you'll know that you just don't know it all. And so I'm sure I've offended many people at a dinner table, and I may have said things to students that may have been, they may have been fearful, based on, say, some of the demands I expect in the classroom.
But they usually don't come back and often tell you what those are, right? Just you kind of feel it a little bit, and then you just kind of live with it?
Yeah, you get a sense of the general class, the feel, the vibe of the classroom, and see what works in a class and what doesn't work in a class.
So it's probably a good sign that you don't remember any specific ones, so it means you've survived them all.
Perhaps.
Well, thanks for being on the show and sharing your thoughts about that, Steve. I know you and I work together on a lot of other things, and I appreciate everything you do here, so thanks for being here.
Thank you, anytime.
When we travel or happen to be among people of another culture, we notice they often do things differently than we do. Maybe I should say they function in a way that is unfamiliar and sometimes even uncomfortable. Talking loudly, encroaching into our personal space, not looking us in the eye, eating with their hands, and eating what? We are not sure how to handle the situation because we have not experienced these behaviors or habits. We take for granted what we have been taught in our culture. For the most part, we know how to hold a fork, when to speak, how to stand in line, what to do at the end of a performance. We have been shown, instructed, rewarded, and sometimes admonished. We watched it, practiced it, and became more comfortable. All of a sudden, we are among people who don't do it the same way. They greet each other with kisses, are incredibly polite, ask lots of questions, won't directly answer or even bow. They bargain in the market, wear clothing we have never owned, serve food in a different way, and what is this we are eating? We have become the stranger in a strange land. If we adopt this mindset, we will struggle. I actually find it interesting and exciting to be in and learn about other cultures. Am I always comfortable? No. I am not used to it. I have never seen or experienced it. I don't even know what it is, but I try. I might take a pass the first time and just watch. I have found asking for explanation or instruction is good. In fact, people are happy to provide information and teach you how. It can be fun and often provides them with a few laughs. We live in a global society exposed to all kinds of people whose experiences and ways of living are different than ours. We can stand back, ignore and avoid. We can wrongly condemn, criticize, and make fun. Or we can watch, listen, learn, and try. When we make a choice to try, we demonstrate interest, show respect, and promote understanding. It says, we value who you are. What did you think of Part 2, International Students in Our Region? Do you have a better appreciation of their experiences? Did you learn something? We hope so, and ask for you to send your comments and thoughts to us. You can reach us through our email address, focus@lakeshorepublicmedia.org, or our website, www.lakeshorepublicmedia.org. Tell people about this or any other show and how they can watch online through our website. Be sure and join us again next week for another Lakeshore Focus. Until then, I'm Keith Kirkpatrick saying, make a positive difference in our world today.
Programming is supported by NIPSCO. Today's young minds are constantly reimagining what our world will be like tomorrow. That's why NIPSCO is upgrading its infrastructure now, so we're ready for whatever comes next. More information at nipsco.com/future.